Hola, amigos. This is Billy Sheehan, and you're watching me right here on Talking About Rock.
It is always a pleasure to have today's guest back with us. Known for his work with David Lee Roth, Mr. Big, the Winery Dogs, and the Fell. Joining us now, let's welcome legendary Billy Sheehan. Well, Billy.
Legendary, eh?
Definitely.
I'll try to live up to that.
Well, when we last spoke, the Mr. Big tour was ending, and you were just about to start up shows with the Fell.
Yes. And then what happened?
Well, now I think you finished up a lot of those shows, and obviously this month, as we celebrate the 40th anniversary of David Lee Roth's Eat 'Em and Smile album, which obviously you were a big part of.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is maybe some of your most memorable tracks on that? I know we talked about a little bit about this before. Obviously, including Shy Boy was a great thing for you on there as well, and Ladies Night in Buffalo.
Well, it's I didn't write Ladies Night in Buffalo. I just said it, and that's why I think it was kind of a joke, running joke. I went home for Thanksgiving and went out to some club, and it was Ladies Night. And when I got back to LA. It was, what did you do for Thanksgiving? I said, I went out. It's a club in Buffalo. It was Ladies Night in Buffalo. And they laughed like crazy because they're thinking Buffalo, blue collar town, that Ladies Night they don't know there's beautiful girls in Buffalo, the Italian, Polish, Irish, German mix. We have some beautiful young ladies in Buffalo. So they didn't look at it in that particular way in their error. And
right.
I thought that was a funny thing. So that was all. And the Shy Boy was my song, of course. And so I was glad when Dave chose that on his own. He wanted to do it. And usually if a guy does a record, especially like some big main guy, and you have a song that he wants to use, he'll say, okay, I'll use your song on my record, but I want 100% of the publishing. That means all the money that song makes on that record, they take it all. You get the notoriety, and maybe other people will know you had a song on a major record, so they'll maybe use your song. But instead, Dave was very kind, and he gave me everything. I kept all my publishing, which was very nice. To have a song on a platinum record was a very good thing. So I was very, very thankful to him for that. But yeah, we had a ride on doing that record. Did it in 3 different studios. Fantasy in Berkeley, California, which is where Journey recorded. Aerosmith was recording there at the same time. Creedence Clearwater did all their stuff there. A lot of huge bands recorded there. Great studio. And then some at the Power Station in New York, because that was a real hot studio from, I think, Robert Palmer's Some Like It Hot. Everybody loved the sound of that record. So we did some of it there. And a couple other studios in LA we did some tracking in as well. So, but yeah, we had a blast making that record. It was all real. We were all in a room really playing, cutting takes instead of doing it one at a time, or like now they do it with a digital recording. They can do it a piece at a time and a part at a time, and so it was all done for real, and that was the good thing about it. And we had a blast.
Yeah, our listeners are definitely very curious about that time, and one of our listeners actually wrote in, Ryan, and he wanted to know, is there any video or audio documenting that creative process when you guys are doing any of that?
No, back then it wasn't as common as now because everyone's carrying around a full-blown video studio in their phone.
Right.
So we didn't have. There were no cell phones then. I don't believe. Summer of '85. Yeah, I didn't get a cell phone till years later. So it wasn't as common to have video around as it is now. So no, we didn't record any of the proceedings on video or audio, other than what was in between songs when they were rolling tape. Everything was still done on tape too. Was all actual 24-track tape machines. So people forget that 40 years ago was a long time.
Right, that is a while back, and you're obviously keeping busy. You wanted to touch on some of the stuff that you've worked on recently. Playing on Backdoor Man for Carmine Appice, Temple of Blues album 2, all-star album. That was great with Eric Gales and Artie Dillon. Very, very cool. I spoke to Carmine a couple weeks ago. Loving that track. Yeah.
I'm playing with Eric Gales. We did a live show of it in near Chicago. Eric Gales, wow. He's mind-blowing. What a great player. So I hope I get a chance to work with him some more.
Yeah, and you also did Feel So Good, another track I recorded alongside Tommy Thayer from Kiss.
Yeah.
And Brett Lightning from Vixen on that one.
Yeah. Britt's a great player. I've done a couple of rock and roll fantasy camps with her. She's a wonderful girl. And the drummer for Vixen, Roxy Petrucci, she was almost the Eat 'Em and Smile drummer.
Oh, really? I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah, me and Steve went down to audition drummers. They put an ad in a local Music Connection or whatever music magazine there is in LA. Drummer wanted, but they didn't say who it was. It kind of leaked out by rumor. So we had about 80 drummers show up at the rehearsal studio in LA, and me and Steve would take turns playing with them to see if we got any good ones. And there's a lot of great drummers, a lot of guys from other big bands and stuff like that. And Roxy was there because Steve Vai's wife was in Vixen at the time, playing bass. So she would hang out. She was one of the gang. She would hang out with us all the time, Roxy, and she was great. And so she just showed up to say hi. She said, "Hey, Roxy, get behind the kit." And she kicked ass. And so we looked at each other like, let's go. So we had another day of rehearsals. And next day we went back to a rehearsal that night and said, "Dave, the girl from Vixen kicks ass, man." We could all see the look on his face like, I know how to screw Alex Van Halen completely, but I'll get a girl to replace him.
Right.
But that was speculation, of course, on our part, but it was funny. And but she's great. But Greg Bissonette walked in before he even sat on the kit. We knew he was the guy.
Yeah.
Instantly, we knew he was the guy. He didn't even play yet. We didn't know anything about him, but he had the absolute perfect attitude, and he could do everything. And he's still one of my dearest friends in the world. And he plays with Ringo now, so that's pretty good.
That's very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, definitely. And you played on a lot of great tracks. So another one of our listeners, Paul, wrote in and asked, is there any particular musician you would like to play with that you haven't played with yet?
I'm pretty lucky. I've played with a lot of guys. I played with Ed Van Halen, with Yngwie, with Tony McAlpine, Steve Vai. A lot of guitar players, a lot of great drummers. I'm a bigger fan of drummers than guitar players, me being a bass player. Dennis Chambers, Vinnie Colaiuta, Terry Bozzio, Neil Peart, played with him. I did Rush sound check. It's on YouTube somewhere. When Getty was late for sound check one day, I got up and did sound check on his bass. But yeah, I've been lucky to play with most everybody that I really love and really like their playing. I can't think of any. Unfortunately, Paco de Lucia is no longer with us.
Right.
The flamenco guitarist is just mind blowing. But there's a whole new crop of people out there that are amazing, and I guess I'll get my chance one way or the other as time goes on.
Yep, definitely. And obviously, we wanted to have you back with us to speak about the band before David Lee Roth. Talas, obviously very well known here on the East Coast. When you left them, you left that band. It disbanded after you left to join David Lee Roth. You reformed them in 2017 with vocalist Phil Naro, drummer Mark Miller, and guitarist Kieran Nagrowski for the 1985 album.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Phil passed, and now what we're seeing is his son James Naro was announced to be maybe handling vocals for shows for Talas in 2027.
Yeah, we're very, very excited about it. I just said I'm working on another record. It's all the songs that we didn't put on the Eat 'Em and Smile record. There were several songs that we were going to do, but there wasn't room. We didn't have time or whatever, for what other reason. There's about 5 songs. We're doing a record of those songs, and then maybe 2 or 3 songs from Eat 'Em and Smile with guest players. That's coming up soon. So we needed a guy to sing one of the songs, and I sent it to James. James, what do you think? Can you sing on this? And he killed on it. He's so good. We were all the guys that are putting the record together. Myself, Ray Lugier, drummer from Korn, and our engineer Scott. We're a little trio of production. We do bass and drums for a lot of people in Ray's studio, and so we're doing this record of the unused Roth songs. So they heard James and they blew their mind. Oh man, this guy can sing! He's so great. So we had him sing on 2 songs, and they were just fantastic. What a wonderful kid too. So we're really excited about playing again. I missed all those songs from Talas. And it's going to be really wonderful having Phil's son with us. Just the memories of Phil. What a great, great guy, and what a great singer. And having his bloodline.
Definitely great to see that. When I saw that announcement, I'm like, I knew it would happen eventually. We were all hoping it would happen in some way, shape, or form, that it would. And when we talked about this, when you guys put together the 1985 album, you weren't aware how ill Phil was at the time, and he just crushed it. He just crushed it. Still, you couldn't even tell.
So great.
What's going on.
I don't think I could have performed at my peak if I had that on the back of my mind. And he was. I noticed he was a little bit. His attention was elsewhere sometimes, because I would be in my home in Nashville. Yeah. So he was doing the final lead vocal in Toronto, and I was producing it from Nashville. And he stepped up to the mic and just killed it. It was so great. It was so awesome. But once in a while, he'd forget a word, and I'd remind him, "No, Bill, I'm sorry, Phil, the lyric is blah, blah, blah." Oh, and he'd make the same mistake again. So I know he was a little distracted, but his singing was right on. And we were all devastated, of course. I was doing another session in Texas, and my phone went off, and I saw that it was his brother calling, and I knew, oh man, I hope this isn't what I think it is. But sadly, it was. So thankfully, James is going to carry on his legacy.
We're definitely great to hear that. And I was also wondering, you usually have some of your master classes that you're putting together at some point also. Is any of that in the works going on, the master classes that you hold? Are you doing that at all? Are you there?
I've been too busy to book any. No, nothing booked right now, but anytime I do book it, I announce it on all my social media. So stay tuned, and whatever's happening, it'll be posted there for sure.
All right. And it looks like the fella is going to gear up, I think, at end of November and head to the UK, it looks, for the next run of shows, right?
Yeah, we got a good run of shows over there. I think in Wales, Scotland, maybe Ireland, and then in England proper. I don't think we're getting on the continent at all. But it's just, again, a quick run where nobody knows who the band is. So we're going to go out and show them who we are. And we had a great run. We did the shows recently, and more to come.
Yeah, definitely. Any other projects you're working on currently? Any other tracks you're working on for anyone else you could maybe tell us a little bit about, spill the beans a little bit on any of you're working on right now?
Did a track with Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, he's doing the metal album. Yeah,
William Shatner.
He's doing the metal album. Yeah, I saw that at first way back when. I was like, "Are you kidding people?" Yeah, it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there. I did something with Bootsy Collins recently. A lot of stuff. It's hard to remember. It's been a chaos since the pandemic of doing songs for other. It's been great. We played on some really cool stuff. I did play on the Accept 40-year anniversary record, 4 tracks on that, and lots of stuff. My memory fails me.
Very cool. I know you're always busy, and we so much appreciate your time, checking with us. Folks, check out the Foul. It's definitely some great tunes they got going on there. And of course, everybody here in my area is waiting for Talas to come back and bring it once again. High Speed on Ice, 1985 tracks. We can't wait for that. Very, very cool.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on again and help me spread the word. I'll see you when we get back in the Buffalo area. I know we're going to do a bunch of shows with Talas, and we're excited. We'll be doing the Christmas show again this summer. We're actually starting to plan it already. That's how long the planning takes. We start in the summertime, but we'll be doing that again. It's going to be a very special one this year again.
All right. Sounds great. All right. That wraps up our episode here, folks. Thanks to my guest, Billy Sheehan, and to our audience. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Billy, again, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks a million. See you later.